Hi everybody, I'm for the first time ever. I'm doing a live on Facebook and on Instagram at the same time. So please let me know if you're here, comment below. Hi Emily, hi Claire, let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can see me. I just want to make sure that everyone can get me from all angles. Okay. So I'm really excited to chat to you about this topic because I did a workshop around it when I was in Australia over Christmas time. Great, thank you for the feedback. I did a workshop around all of this when I was in Australia, and it went so well, and it was just so amazing to hear so many of the women come away with just really awesome stories of how much it helped them and the clarity that they received, and just that they don't really spend this sort of quality time on themselves with, like say pen to paper or doing this sort of journaling work, that we might be going and doing all of this physical, the training and maybe meditating and all of that sort of thing, which is absolutely amazing. But if we don't have this sort of thing, then sometimes it's almost, this is what is going to come through in your daily life. So yes, you might be meditating for 30 minutes a day, you might be exercising for an hour a day, but what about the other 23 hours in the day? What happens with the inner self-talk is really important. Okay, so that's why I have some little notes next to me. So we are going to be talking about simple tricks to calm your inner critic. So we are going to be going through gaining awareness around our negative self-talk, but we're doing this without judgment, okay? Because words on paper won't mean anything to the person next to you, but if you were to read them, they might mean something to you. So that's why it's important when we do this exercise that it's without judgment. Okay, we're doing this just to see what shows up for us. We're doing this just to see what is in our head, to get it onto paper so we can actually see what is going on. We're not here to judge. We're just doing this in order to gain clarity and awareness, so then we can move forwards and we can start being more loving towards ourselves. Okay, another thing is finding alternatives to swap them with, because when we remove a negative, we need to make sure that we're replacing it with a positive. Otherwise, we're leaving empty space. And if we're not replacing it with something positive, then it gives it more room for the negative to just creep back in. Okay, so that's why we want to balance it out. And then when to go deeper into a negative little self-talk and when to stop it in its tracks. Because there are a couple of different ways and reasons of why you actually want to dig a little bit deeper into it, and things like self-sabotage of when you sort of want to stop it in its tracks and tell yourself that you're amazing and that you can do it and to continue on. Okay, so if you have any questions throughout, even if you're catching the replay, just pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. But make sure, if you haven't already, just grab a pen and paper, because you're going to be doing a little bit of journaling work with me throughout, so we can sort of do this together. So if you need to, just quickly go and grab yourselves pen and paper, and then you can tell me when you're ready to go. Okay, so I decided to take my laptop. I don't know why I decided to take my laptop, but I decided to come here to this beautiful little, I can show you on Instagram, not really on my laptop. But as you can see, this is where I decided to come for the video, nice and peaceful. This is just like 2 minutes down the road. Okay, so if you're jumping on, make sure you're saying hi. Whoops. Everyone's just grabbing their pen and paper, and then we are starting our, okay, Facebook, I'll show you too. So this is just like 2 minutes away from my house. Isn't it cool? All right. Okay, so the first thing I want everybody to do is to put, you've got your pen and paper, and you're going to put a line down the middle, and you're going to put negative at the top on one side and positive on the other side. Okay, all we're going to do is we're going to start filling up the negative side. We're doing this without judgment, remember? This is just to get our thoughts and our things that are inside our head onto paper so we can actually see what's happening. So I want you to start writing down. Let's start with the physical. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? How do you feel about your body? What sort of words come up for you? What sort of statements come up for you? If you've had children, what sort of things about your body have changed that maybe you're not happy with, or maybe you haven't quite come to terms with? Oh, awesome. Thanks, Em, for letting me know. What sort of... I'll give you a couple of examples. Oh, hey, coach. My coach is on. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of examples of things that have come up quite commonly for people who have done this workshop with me. So one of them would be, if they're looking in the mirror, they might be thinking, I'm working so hard and I'm not getting anywhere. Okay, that's a really common one. So I'm just going to give you some that I have found that show up a lot. They might just stimulate little ideas for you on things that pop up for yourself. Okay, so just be open to what shows up for you. Don't worry if any sort of emotions come up as well. We're not here to judge. We're not here to do anything like that. At the moment, we're just here to put it to paper. So another one, my body just doesn't tone up. It mustn't be in my genetics. I've had kids. It's ruined my body, or my body will never be the same because I've had children. That's a really common one that I hear a lot, and that is definitely something to be putting in the negative column, okay? Another one, it runs in my family, everybody in my family. This is one I personally used to say, and coach, you remember when I used to say, oh, you know, my family all have bad posture, so I have bad posture. And I laugh about it now because you can change your posture so fast with exercise. It's ridiculous. And I remember when I was so set in my way of that it's not possible because my mom and my dad and everybody else have bad posture. And I was so stuck in those ways. What's another one that I used to have? Gosh, I don't know. Well, some that are on my list. Okay. So maybe something to do with especially mum tums. A lot of women will say, oh, that's what happens when you have kids. You end up with a mum tum and it will never go away. You'll always be stuck with this loose skin, blah, blah, blah. That's one to write down. So these are sort of things that might be triggering ideas for you or I've been this way my whole life. So these are ones that would be in the physical sense. Now there might be ones to do with, say, your children. My kids never listen. That's a really, really good one because that is a negative. And remember, when we give these sorts of things energy, that is what we're going to be seeing more of, right? So it's like we're manifesting it more by giving it the energy that we don't actually want to be giving it. So that it can be tough on how to actually word it in a way without giving it more attention that it doesn't actually need. So we're going to go through a couple of different areas, but right now I'm going to go through. So once you've done those, let me know in the comments. If you're catching the replay, let me know in the comments. Anyone who is doing it with me live on Instagram as well, let me know some of them in the comments. We can work through them right now. That's what we're here for. That's why we're doing a little tutorial. Now, once you've done those, just keep on going until you can't think of any more. It might be to do with your strength. It might be to do with your fitness. It might be to do with how your clothes fit. It might be to do with how you digest food. It might be to do with the way your skin looks. It might be to do with the way your body responds to exercise. It might be the way your eyebrows look. It might be the shape of your calves, the shape of your legs, the shape of your butt. All of these sorts of things are the things that you're going to be putting into the negative column. We want to fill up as much as we can. We're not here just to be looking far and wide for all the negative, okay? Because these are all things that we would probably already have within us, that it just pops up here and there. You might catch yourself in the mirror and be like, ugh, I work so hard on my ass and I still don't have an ass. What the hell is going on? So that's something that might just show up for you randomly and you don't even think about it. But when you do this sort of work, it can bring it to the surface. And that's all we want to be doing, is bringing it to the surface, so then it's easier to clear it and to come up with a strategy to have like that parallel of something positive that can actually help us move through it into something where we actually want to be. Okay, so if someone wants to write in the comments anything that they have written down, and we'll work through it together and do a couple of positives together, that would be really fun. So once someone pops one in the comments, I'm going to write a couple more down that we can share. So I'll just show you a cool little case study sort of thing that I did, helping a couple of different people through in the fitness side of it. Was thinking that they couldn't do it. So a couple of runners that I had helped with the negative to the positive, and when we worked on swapping it to the positive and then just focusing on the positive while they were doing their run, it was really, really interesting, because someone who was doing a half marathon wasn't sure that they would ever be able to do the half marathon. And so what I got them to focus on was obviously a bit of self-sabotage was creeping in. And self-sabotage comes in as like a survival mechanism to almost protect you from failing, which is fine. But when you can recognize it, you're able to sort of push past that little threshold. And so what I helped this girl do was identify what kept showing up for her while she was going for her run in her mindset. And it was, this is really hard, I don't think I can continue. So then once we figured out what that was, then we swapped it and we just focused on repeating one affirmation for her entire run. And so when we decided to do that, she hadn't run her complete half yet. And I think she had only run maybe 12 at the most. And on the day, she finished the whole thing. The last 6 or 7 Ks, she said she had never felt so strong because of the affirmation that we went through together, that she just repeated nonstop from start to finish. And it was just one affirmation. It was something like, I'm the best shape of my life. And she repeated it from as soon as she started until she finished. And what that did was it gave her confidence, and it gave her strength, and it gave her courage to keep going. It gave her like the inner power and the inner strength of, I can do this. And the more you start repeating things like that, it does change everything for you. So that was an awesome result. That happened to 2 people who did a half marathon. Another one was a sprinter who ran a personal best just from changing the mindset of being scared before being around other athletes, and letting it psych herself out. And when we refocused her attention on something that she could control, which was something that she could say to herself nonstop in her mind, something positive, when we did that together, we only did it once, and then the next week she came back and told me that she ran a personal best just from swapping her mindset over. It wasn't anything physical of changing her technique in her running. It was just from that mindset aspect of having something clear and controllable to focus on that was so powerful and gave her so much strength and courage that it really helped her push herself more and stay in her zone. So that was really cool. So I'm going to go through one, seeing as nobody has written in the comments. That is absolutely fine. So one that could be really common is, I worked so hard and I'm not getting the results that I want. Okay, so from there, I want you to look at it without judgment. Now, from that point, asking yourself a couple of questions of, are you doing something that is in alignment with your goals? Yes, you could be doing exercise and you could be working hard, but that could be like saying, I really want to work on my lower body and I'm not getting the results that I want. but you're actually going to the gym and doing upper body. So then clearly that's why you're not going to get the results. You could be working your ass off, but if you're only doing upper body and you want the lower body results, see how it just doesn't match up? It's not in alignment together. Okay, we have one. And one of mine is, I'm not happy with my thighs since stopping running. More cellulite and less definition. Okay, awesome. So that is amazing. Thanks for sharing. Now, what we can do with this is, okay, let me just have a think. I want to know what you think is actually going to help improve the cellulite and bring more definition. Can you tell me that? Because another thing is when we're really fixated on only this way is going to give me these results, any other way isn't going to give me the results that I want. And it's something that I used to think a lot with my coach, and it was years and years ago, and it was things like only, oh, hi from Greece, hi from France. One of the things was, what was it? Oh, like I couldn't grow muscle without having protein shakes. And I decided to prove myself wrong and test it out, test a little theory. And it was, can I still maintain my body? Can I still maintain how I want to look by removing this from my diet completely? And I just wanted to do it as a little test to see if it was in my head or if it was actually proven. And my body, nothing changed. And that was really cool because I was so set in my ways of, I have to find somewhere that I can get protein while I'm on holiday, because if I don't have it with me, I'm going to lose all my muscle, blah, blah, blah. And I was so set in that way that it was really hard for me to steer away from it. And what happens is when you are really set in those ways, your, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Your insides, like, you know, when you're manifesting, it's the same sort of thing as you think that it's so real that your body will show you that it's real. Yeah. So I know I have to get to the gym more often to do weight training. I'm struggling with the time. Yes, the time one is a really good one too. So, okay. Now, I know that you used to do lots of running, and I want you to have a think of, what is it in the gym that you feel like really needs to be there in order for you to get those results that you want? And what is something that you feel like you could change it to, so then every day when you see yourself in the mirror, you think like, damn, I look freaking good. Every day I'm looking better and better. Every day I'm feeling fitter and stronger. And the more, when we can change our mindset into saying an affirmation that goes with it, like a positive affirmation, it almost opens us up to receiving what we actually want. So when I had Ollie, I decided to repeat an affirmation because I was in quite a negative headspace, and I was in massive doubt of if it was ever possible to feel and look the same again. And I decided to repeat the affirmation, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm the fittest, strongest, fastest I've ever been in my life. And I repeated that nonstop. And within about 4 months, I became the strongest, the fittest, the fastest I ever was. And you know why that happened? Because I repeated it so much that I tricked my subconscious into actually believing it. And so therefore it found ways to bring that into reality. Okay. So the thing is for anything that we're talking about here. So with the gym, you don't have to have a gym. You don't even have to run to get the legs that you want. That's all in our heads. Okay. You can do as much as you want to be doing. Ah, my connection. Okay, so Emily, what would it take for you to feel the way that you feel when you go to the gym? What would it take for you to feel successful and like you've achieved something if you were, say, in the park? when we're really attached to an environment, it makes it quite hard, because if for some reason that changes or you go somewhere where that environment is not available, then that really throws things off, and it makes you feel, what's the word I'm thinking of? How am I supposed to make this work? So when you can come up with, I can get what I want wherever the hell I want with whatever I've got, then you will always find a way to make it work, and you'll always find a way to feel however you want to be feeling. So if it's the environment, create that environment anywhere you go. Be adaptable anywhere you go. So HIIT workouts, sweaty sort of stuff can be done absolutely anywhere. It doesn't have to involve gym equipment. It doesn't have to involve any equipment. It could involve a bench. It could involve a step. So when we become really attached to a way of training, it really limits us on where we can go from there as well. So if we were going to segregate those into a negative and a positive, in the negative we would put, let me have a look what it was again. Okay, so my thighs aren't as defined and have some cellulite, and I don't like it. Now in the positive, we could put, now this could be something that could relate not just to your body image, but this could relate to anywhere. And it could be, I look amazing, and I can do, let me try and find a way to write this out. Feel free to write more in the comments, everybody, because this is fun working these out. Okay, I'm actually going to write this down. I need to see it visually. So some of these positives are going to sort of fall into a couple of other categories for you. So another thing is, when we're saying something positive to ourselves in the mirror, it might not feel super real at the beginning when you're saying an affirmation, for example, I am this or I am that. But the cool thing is, when you are doing things like that, is the more that you repeat something like that, the more your subconscious is going to take that on as real. So if you find that it is quite a struggle to say the words I am, say, in the best shape of my life, or I am, yeah, okay, Emily, that's another one. I tend to push myself harder at the gym. That's a negative statement right there. You're saying it's only possible to push yourself that hard when you're at the gym, whereas that's not actually possible. That's just your perception. Okay, so Emily, what you can actually do is you could give yourself a challenge and prove yourself wrong, that you can push yourself harder when you're not in the gym. That you can, I totally did. So you can, so I just called it out on that. Wasn't that cool? That it can, you don't realize these things that show up for you, and then someone catches you out and you're like, oh my gosh, I actually didn't think of it that way. And it's so true. So this is why it's really important to have conversations like this, to go through work, like this sort of work together, because you can move so many beliefs around things that you didn't probably even realize that you had. So Emily has said, I just tend to push myself harder at the gym. And then I was like, well, that is a limiting belief right there. You can push yourself as hard as you want anywhere. And that was something that I wanted to prove to myself I could do anywhere. And so if you're willing to risk the outcome, give it a go. Because what's the worst that can happen? You get fitter and stronger and enjoy it more than ever, or you just go back to what you were doing. So either way, you can't lose, which is the thing, right? Can't lose. Yeah, exactly. My coach said I went from Australia to France and I'm even stronger than I was before. Exactly. And I don't have the same things that I used to have. I don't have my coach with me. He's in Australia. I'm here. I trained less than I ever did, and I ended up being faster than I ever was. And that was not from doing anything physically. As you can hear, I reduced my amount of training, but I improved my mindset. I started being more positive. I started working on my limiting beliefs. And from doing that and from starting to repeat these sort of affirmations, that is what really pushed me to the next level. Okay? So, Emily, if you're up for the challenge, I will help you prove yourself wrong. So, something that we can say in return to that is, anywhere that you are, whether you are at the gym, whether you are in the park, whether you're at the beach and you're doing a workout, yes, I know you are. Emily's always up for a challenge, and I know she is. So wherever you are, I want you to tell yourself, I can get the results I want absolutely anywhere. I can get the results I want absolutely anywhere. So the first thing you would do when you walk into that gym or when you go to the beach, wherever you decide to do a workout that's not the gym, I can get the results I want wherever the hell I want, because it's up to me and it's my choice. I am choosing to get results wherever I want to get results. And I'm choosing to work my ass off in any workout, wherever I am, because that's my choice. Okay? So it is your choice. You're choosing yourself more in a particular environment. That's a choice. That's not because of the environment. That's just a choice. So things that can bring yourself into, if your state is enhanced when you're somewhere like a gym, then finding the things that help you bring you into that state wherever you are. So that might be, if you feel like having music really helps you get in a state, then bring your music wherever you are, whether it's the track, whether it's to the beach. Replicate things that you can to bring that commonality there. That's another way that is quite helpful with that sort of thing, you know? Yeah, and you know, if you wear something specific at the gym that you wouldn't maybe if you were going to a park, then change that. You want to pick things. So another way that you can do that is you can pick your outfits according to how you want to feel. How do you want today? And what is going to make me feel that sort of energy? So if you want to be working out and you want to absolutely kick ass, you want to pick an outfit that makes you feel really inspired, that makes you feel like you're going to absolutely nail it. And then you're going to tell yourself, I can get the results I want absolutely anywhere because I'm in the best shape of my life and I'm choosing to be amazing. I'm choosing to, what was I going to say? I am choosing to put the work in wherever I am because I want my results, and I will get my results. I always get my results. So these are just different positive affirmations. So another, for example, the cellulite not defined thing, we would say, looking at yourself in the mirror, you would actually, on purpose, you would compliment yourself on how amazing your legs look. I just love how my legs look. I notice I catch myself in the mirror, and if I am about to say something that I'm like, oh, look how bloated I am today, I'll reverse it and I'll be like, check out my tummy, how good do I look today? And I'll just do that even though I might not really feel that great, but I know what it can do for me if I do just swap that language around. So sometimes I'll just be checking myself out in the mirror and totally telling myself how amazing I look and how strong I am and how awesome I am. And who cares if people think that's vain? If it means that it uplifts your energy and if it means that it brings you positivity, then that's amazing. And we should all be doing more of it, right? So if anybody has any more that you want to work through together, let's do some more. This is so much fun. I love doing this. And this is something that I do with all my private clients, because this is the sort of stuff that is a part of your everyday life. It's a part of the other 23 hours of your day that you're not training. And if you're constantly going around telling yourself, you hate your legs, you hate how you look, you're never going to get the results because you can't get to the gym, but then when you do get to the gym, you work your ass off, then the other 23 hours you're contradicting yourself and you're telling yourself the opposite, then of course you're not going to get those results that you want, because you're actually telling your body that you don't want the results because of the way that you're speaking about it. So you have to be really careful with the language that you're using. That's like saying nothing ever goes my way. Well, heck, you asked for it, so nothing is going to go your way, right? So whenever something like that happens, whenever you're in a frump and you feel like it isn't going your way, turning it around and saying, everything always works out for me. Everything always goes in my favor. So it's something that I've learned recently to do a lot as well, and that's been really, really helpful with finding a positive to everything. And that is even when you might get bills that were totally unexpected, and it's like, are you effing kidding me? Like, this is not the right time of the month for that to be coming to me right now. But then you think, it's okay, everything always works out for me, it'll always work out, you know? And then somehow you'll be shown a way for it to be worked out. So you might not know how it's going to work out, but by being open to it always working out in your favor opens you up to those opportunities for it to work out in your favor, right? So what's another one that we can go through? Okay, so another physical one. Let's go through the time one, because the time one is really common, and it's something that coaches said to me before. Once when I moved over here and I dropped off contact for a while, and I said, I've just been really busy and I haven't had time. And he's like, Chloe, we all have the same amount of time. It's just how we use that time. And I was like, oh, that's really wise. You got me on that one. And ever since then, I have decided to take that on. We all have the same amount of time. It's just how we use the time, how we choose to use the time, because remember, it's our choice to use our time in our particular way that we're using it. So if you're choosing not to be productive, if you're choosing to sleep when you know you have an F load of work to do, that is your choice. That was your choice to not be productive. Okay, if you had scheduled in a workout and then you decided that you had to do washing and all of these other errands, and then you say, oh, I didn't have any time. Well, you did, but you actually prioritized something else. So that's when you would go through into your values, which we might do next week. So the values comes into play, and it's very important, because when you can understand your top, say, 5 values, then you can have a way that you can align yourself with each of those values every single day or every week. And when you can align yourself with them, then it becomes really easy to prioritize certain things. So for example, for me, I don't know why we're going into this now, but we're already in it. So for me, one of my top priorities is health and wellness. And then my family comes under that, because if I have my health and wellness, then my family life suffers, because I'm a raging loon. Okay? So I prioritize that. And the ways that I align myself with that daily is to nourish my body with foods that make me feel high vibe and make me feel healthy, to move in some way, shape or form, whether that's my running training, whether it's yoga, whether it's going for a walk, because it makes me feel me. Health and wellness could be some self-care. Self-care might be reading a chapter of my book. It might be doing a DIY facial at home. It might be catching up with some friends, and that might be something that I do every couple of days. It might be something I spend 5 minutes on a day. It might be something that I dedicate an hour a week. Okay, but those are the things that are top on my priority list. So then I would choose my training over washing, because I can do my washing at any other time, but I know if I focus on myself first, then when I come around to doing the washing later, I'll be more content, because I've done the things that I actually wanted to do for myself first. Okay, and then I can feel proud of myself because I've ticked that off the list of self-care and looking after myself, putting myself first, and then I'm way more happy going and doing all the other things, like if I wanted to do washing or if I had any cleaning to do or something like that, then it doesn't feel like a chore. I actually feel like I want to do it because I've already accomplished something for myself. Okay, so back into our negatives and positives. So the time one, I have all the bloody time in the world. You have all the time in the world. And I actually have decided, I have an Apple Watch and I've decided to stop wearing it because I don't want to know what time it is. I don't want to be reminded of things that make me feel like I'm running out of time. So I actually stopped wearing it when I went away to Cassis with my best friend, and it was awesome. I didn't want to stop wearing it, but I forgot the charger, and so I, who makes Apple Watches that need to be charged? It's a watch. So I didn't wear it, and it was such a blessing because I didn't check my phone to see what time it was. We did things when we did things. We finished when we finished. We ate lunch when we were hungry. It was awesome. And so that's when I realized, oh my gosh, we actually have all the time in the world when we think we have all the time in the world. We can take our time. We don't rush. Everything gets accomplished. It's just like that quote, nature doesn't hurry, yet everything gets accomplished. It's the same thing. So when you find yourself rushing, remind yourself, this is a negative to the positive. I have all the time in the world. It's okay, I have all the time in the world. And just take a couple of deep breaths, take a step back, and know that it'll get done when it's supposed to get done. Okay. Goodness, this is so much fun. I could do this all day long. So if anyone has any more, if you're catching the replay, comment. I would love to help you, even if it's in the replay. If you have any more, shoot them to me. Or if they were helpful, what we've gone through already, please let me know as well, because your feedback means the world to me. Something that, actually, you know what a really amazing one is that changed my life regarding my health? And that was, I'm just going to give you this because it's going to give you ideas of things that might work out in your life, okay? So when I moved to France, before I moved to France, I couldn't eat many foods at all. I was the most boring person over for dinner back in the day. And all I could have was bananas, berries, carrot, zucchini, capsicum. That was pretty much my food list that I could actually eat. Now I had a fructose malabsorption. So I would look like 9 months pregnant every time I ate things like onion, garlic, pears, apples, anything like that. And I had to stop eating it all. And so when I moved to France, I was pregnant and I really, really wanted to heal myself. And I had heard that when you're pregnant, you might be able to heal yourself. And so I started to believe that. And so I started to just not worry so much about the food. You wouldn't be able to tell if I was bloated anyways because I was pregnant. And then things just didn't react to me as much. And then because I opened up my awareness to receive ways that I could heal myself, I came across a medical medium. And so via finding the medical medium, I discovered the healing properties of fruits and vegetables and how I could actually use them to heal myself and to heal my gut. And I was so determined to prove to myself that I can heal myself because we're adaptable beings, which means that we can heal ourselves. We have a cut, it heals. You have a bad gut, it heals, right? Same thing. So I decided to tell myself that I could eat everything again. I decided to tell myself that I could eat all of the things that I couldn't eat before. I decided to tell myself that I was healed, that my gut was healed. I could now eat everything. And it's been 2 years now that I've been eating everything that I couldn't eat. And I've never felt better. I don't get tummy pain anymore. I'm still getting a little bit of bloating depending on what I eat. But what I've learned is that the foods that I was eating were actually pushing out the toxins, that it wasn't that the food was causing the issue. So it wasn't that food was being a bad thing for me. It was actually helping me heal by releasing things that were causing those reactions. So when I understood that, I was like, oh my gosh, my body is really working for me. Food is working for me. Mother Earth created foods to heal us, right? So if we could find ways to help that work for us, then that's amazing. And so I decided to do that, and I'm still proving myself right. So that's really fun and cool, isn't it? So, yes, go for it. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much, and I'll PM you. Bye. Thank you so much for joining. What was I going to say? So we've been on for quite a while now. So I feel like that was really awesome. Now, actually, one more thing before we go, and that was when to go deeper and when to stop in your tracks. So self-sabotage is something of when you would instantly swap it into a positive, or you would stop yourself before that's even an option, which is what I do with clients when they're working out, because that's when a lot of people self-sabotage, is either before they go to work out, on their way to working out, while they're working out, or just after working out. And now self-sabotaging, I mean before working out, finding an excuse to not go and work out. That's self-sabotage. Finding a reason of why you can't continue your workout is self-sabotage. It's things that I constantly used to do with my coach that I didn't realize that I was doing, and it was self-sabotage of my subconscious that was doing it for me as a protection mechanism in case I failed. Okay? So things as well like not pushing yourself past when it's really burning. That's sabotage. Stopping before you should have actually completed your session because it's getting too hard. That is a form of self-sabotage. Okay, so you know that you should be pushing yourself past it, but you don't. You're choosing to stop because it's hard. That's self-sabotage. So when things come up like that, you'll also get a little voice that pops up with you, and that might be things like, oh my gosh, this is so hard, this is burning, I don't think I can continue. Oh my gosh, my legs. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to faint. I don't feel so good. Oh, I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. All of these are the sorts of things that will show up for you as self-sabotage during the workout. Even things like, oh my God, I can't breathe enough. I feel like I've got asthma. You're psyching yourself into it maybe not all the times, but a lot of the time you're talking to yourself so much that you're creating this reality that isn't actually true to you, but because you're repeating so much, it is coming to life for you. So when that happens for a workout, that is when you begin your positive from the moment of your workout. Before you go and work out, your positive would be, I'm going to have an amazing workout and I'm going to do the best that I can because I know I can. And then throughout the workout, you would be repeating your affirmation, I'm in the best shape of my life, or I'm the strongest I've ever been. I'm limitless. Repeating 1 or 2 affirmations from start to finish, non-stop, can help stop some of the self-sabotage language that comes up for you during a workout. It can also, what's the word I'm thinking of? Self-sabotage, it can stop, yeah. Oh, I got lost for a moment. So when you repeat something like that, you can stop yourself from having a negative pop up. Or you can be repeating something really positive that makes you feel amazing, and you can almost feel like you're about to say something negative, and then you can shut it out with that positive again. Now, when you would want to dig deeper into the negative is if it's something that maybe is really, what's the word I'm thinking of, has a lot more depth to it. So something that is really rooted deeply to a limited belief, and maybe it brings up memories, maybe it brings up emotions, things to do with not being good enough. Some things like that are worth digging deeper into and are worth journaling and asking questions. And I did write a couple of questions. So just to sit with it and breathe, and to ask yourself a few questions like, where is this coming from? Is it mine? Is it somebody else's? Is it true? Is it my truth, or is it maybe somebody else's truth? Is it something that I have learnt from somebody, or is it something that I have created for myself? Is this something that I learned from childhood? And is it something that I am happy to release now? Is it something that's no longer serving me? What's another one? Yeah, like, what feels true? What is the truth? What do you want to be true? What would you rather believe? If not that, then what would you rather believe? And then come up with a rephrase of, okay, so I used to think this, but right now I'm choosing to believe this. Okay, so right now I have noticed that I don't feel good enough, but I'm choosing to feel worthy, and I'm choosing to feel that I deserve good things in my life. And I'm choosing, and I'm giving myself permission to be worthy and deserving. Okay, so that is something that you could do from a negative to a positive. Okay, I know we've covered a lot today, and we've been on for about 45 minutes, so I'm going to head off now because I don't want to overcrowd your minds with too many things. But if you would like to take some time and do this by yourself again, please do so. You just have two columns. You would have a negative column and a positive column. And for every negative, I want you to come up with a positive that you would rather be true. So if this is the negative, what would you rather be true? Then that is your positive. Okay? So thank you so much for everybody who has jumped on here and participated with me. This was so much fun. And if you're catching the replay, thank you so much for catching the replay. And if you had any questions, have any questions, remember to pop them in the comments, and you know that I will be more than happy to through them with you. So happy Tuesday. I'm going to jump on again on Thursday at 11 a.m. CEST, which is Central European Standard Time. And I'm going to be doing something physical, something about the physical. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be teaching you how to engage your glutes while sitting in a chair. All right. So every week, every Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a mindset tutorial, and then every Thursday will be something physical. So that's something I've decided to do, which is super fun. And I will catch you all on Thursday for those of you who want to join me. So thanks so much, everyone. Bye.